Hey everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to another episode of Just Sayin. This is not only going to be a special episode, but a very somber one. I will get into that here in just a little bit. But I will say we are going to continue with week 3 of my birthday month and more things that are my favorite things. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and answer the question, what is Josh drinking? And on the show today, while it should come as no shock to anyone, I'm drinking Mountain Dew. Refreshing. PepsiCo, call me, email me. Cool Blue Gatorade, Grape Gatorade, Mountain Dew, coupons. Anyway, you'll want to call me after my Christmas episode, trust me. Surprise. That's all I'm going to say. Speaking of my Christmas episode, I do want to remind you guys, please click that subscribe button. For every new subscriber I get this season, all season long, I'm donating $1 to Toys for Tots up to $60. That will put me at 99 subscribers. If I get 61 or more subscribers, and I reach my goal of 100 subscribers, I will donate $100 to Toys for Tots. Right now, it's a whopping $3. So, that means they're going to get one of 3 options. 1 toy from the $3 store, 3 toys from the $1 store, or 1 toy from the $2 store and 1 toy from the $1 store. So, yeah. Anyway, it's up to you guys. Just click subscribe. Here we go. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong note cards. It's going to be a rough few months, and I'm texting with my sister as we speak, and my mom, for those of you who don't know, my mom passed away August 11th, and today is September 19th. Her birthday would have been this Friday, so I'm going to do a special tribute to her in this episode at the end of the show, for more than one reason. And I thought about doing it at the beginning because my mom always said do the worst first. If you had a list of chores and you put it off till the end, the one you hate doing, you put it off to the end, you're going to dread everything else. And once you get that one thing done, you can have fun doing the rest. And I thought about that, and I thought about doing this part at the beginning of the show, but then I realized I kind of mess up a lot, and I start over a lot, and I don't even have it scripted. It just says my intro to it. I'm going to run the intro and then talk, because I don't even know what I'm going to say at this point, and I want it to come from the heart. And so I want to screw up as much as I can before I get to that segment, and I don't think I can do it the same twice say the same things twice from the heart, or 3 times or 4 times or however many times it would have taken if I did it at the beginning. So I'm sorry I'm ending the show on a sad note, but it's going to be all fun next week. And next week is my 40th birthday show. And yes, I'm going to continue saying it that way because it's not my 40th birthday show. It's my 40th birthday show. And I have no idea what's going to happen. Producer Man has written the entire script. He's going to put the stuff in my computer, anonymous, like under, if it's the, if he does, what's the segment coming up? What's wrong here? He's just going to do wrong one. And in the script, it's going to tell me when to pull up each picture. So I literally will know nothing until I film. So, anyway. Yeah, so be sure to watch next week. It's, I hope, going to be a good episode. And I'm going to open my heart a little bit more to you guys, and tell you the situation surrounding 2019. I think after my mom's passing, it's good for me to tell my story, because I think if I can help one person with my story, that's all I need. That will have done an amazing thing. So I'm going to open myself up just a little bit more, and it's going to be a special segment I'm just now informing Producer Man about. So, yeah. I'm not looking at him because I know he's furious with me right now. I meant to talk to him about it earlier, but I just forgot. I have a lot going on today, okay? And I've taken an anxiety pill, which is why I'm kind of instead of happy-go-lucky. Because I can fake that really well, and Taser's right over here snoring. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's start the fun. It's time for the segment that I love, and everybody else is starting to love. It's time for me to ask the question: is that too far? And here's how it works for those of you who have never seen it. I have a list of about 20 jokes, but I have a dark sense of humor, and I never know what really crosses that line. So I have a member of the FCC sitting right over there. And if you hear this sound, that means the joke has gone too far. I have to end the sketch immediately. It could be after the first joke, third joke, 19th joke, but after the 20th, I don't care because that would make a really long sketch. And I only have a list of 20 jokes if you were paying attention. So while I don't know what I'm trying to say, here we go. Disney has recently received backlash over having a gay character in the live adaptation remake of Beauty and the Beast. The gay guy is the one that says, "One ticket for Beauty and the Beast, please." Is that too far? No? Gave me the thumbs up on that one. An artist recently created a 45-pound statue of Beyonce made out of cheese, as if she wasn't already popular with the crackers. Is that too far? Oh, his finger's hovering. Better get him back. Might end the sketch a little bit sooner than I thought. A politician in Italy was recently forced to resign after funneling government money to a gay sex club. The club was called the Vatican. Is that too far? Still hovering. I'm kind of worried. Fun fact, March 28th is National Black Forest Cake Day, or as police call it, Suspect Cake Day. Oh no! That sound means that sketch or that joke went just a little bit too far, and the sketch has to end immediately. But don't worry, more jokes coming up right now in this week's edition of Another Cheesy Monologue. In honor of our upcoming 100th episode, I thought it would be fun for the rest of the season to look back at previous jokes that I've done on the show. So while outdated, all of the jokes will be about random things. Hold on tight. Here we go. In Australia, a couple is getting married inside of an IKEA store, which of course we all know means the marriage will fall apart within 2 years. Today, a judge sentenced Lindsay Lohan to 30 days in jail for violating her probation, or as Kim Kardashian said, 30 days, that's like 7 marriages. Sorry, I don't like the Kardashians anyway. Brad Pitt has donated over $100,000 in order to back gay marriage. Today, a spokesman for all gay men said, "It's nice to think that Brad Pitt's behind us." Now, I'm starting something new that I'm going to do all season long up to our 100th episode. And when I was going through these jokes, I realized, I should have made that one my joke of the week. So I thought it would be fun to do a new thing that I'm calling, it's time for my should have been my joke of the week, joke of the week. After a judge's ruling, gay marriage is now legal in Pennsylvania. So today, a lot of Amish men pitched more than just a fence. That was totally That's totally I was thinking about Boy Scouts, not Amish people, pitching a tent. Yeah, no. Let me read the joke the way it should have been read. It's time for it should have been my joke of the week, joke of the week. After a judge's ruling, gay marriage is now legal in Pennsylvania. So today, a lot of Amish men were raising something other than a barn. That's how I should have done it the first time. It's funnier that way. Arnold Schwarzenegger was interviewed on 60 Minutes, where he revealed that he performed 2 same-sex marriages while he was governor of California. Of course, the marriages weren't really official because no one could understand what he was saying. Lady Gaga said that she's going to become an ordained minister so that she can officiate same-sex weddings. Great. Gay marriages just got gayer. In Palm Springs, California, a Starbucks barista saved a customer's life by giving him CPR. Apparently, the customer passed out when the barista spelled his name right. According to a new poll, 42% of Americans celebrated St. Patrick's Day, while the other 58% just got drunk because it was Wednesday. The U.S. Postal Service says that they have lost $2 billion this spring. Postal officials are too busy emailing each other trying to figure out how it happened. And finally, yesterday, fans at Comic-Con got to see the first 7 minutes of the final Twilight movie. There were a bunch of disturbing pale characters battling each other, but don't worry, they settled down once the movie started. Now you can begin. We are going to push right through, and this is one thing absolutely that I love. And like I said, it's my birthday month. We're celebrating my birthday with all of my favorite things, but no, I'm not like Oprah, and you're not getting shit. Okay? You can get the earbuds if you play the game next month. Anyway. So I thought it would be fun to look at what I originally wanted to tell. Oh, I pulled up the wrong script. Hold on. There we go. I had them in order. I don't know what happened. But I love, the reason I started this next segment is because I like to look at stupid stuff. Even though I hate stupid people, I love to see what a stupid person can do. And I get proud of them. Good for you, you're trying, but you're still an idiot. And I'm looking at producer man when I say that. No, I'm kidding. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at how I intended What's Wrong Here to be. And that is by looking at stupid signs at stores. It's time for another edition of What's Wrong Here? Now, here's the first one, and this one's kind of cute. It's outside of an ice cream parlor. It's kind of a cute chuckle. Ice cream, you scream, the police came, it was awkward. That is kind of funny. That's cute. I gotta give him credit. Now, this one, like I say this, I feel like every time I do this segment, I feel like I'm on repeat. You've got to pay attention to grammatical stuff like spacing. And, like, make sure you understand how it's going to portray itself when people see the sign. Because I'm not sure I would ever want to work for this company. Or at least this store. Our secret ingredient is our people now hiring. Not sure that's the right place to work. And again, maybe it's just that store. I'm not saying all of Wendy's are like that, but you gotta pay attention to stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds cute and funny while you're reading it, but make sure you take down the now hiring that. I mean, here's the next one. Now, I'm not making fun of the fact that you can buy alcohol and a gun at the same place. I'm making fun of the fact that it's a drive-through. Really? Who has ever gone to a drive-through and ordered a Glock and a bottle of wine? Who? Yeah, I'd like that 9mm and a case of Bush. Really? Here's the next one. Divorce yard sale. Hurry up before spouse comes home. Hey, it's a great idea. Now, again, let me press that repeat button. Make sure you pay attention to grammatical stuff and how things are going to sound when it's on a big sign. Because I don't think this person thought that the name of their business would stir people away. Certain people would come, no pun intended, especially at Big Dick's halfway in. A home of the original minnow shot. No thanks. Here's the next one. Now, again, here's the repeat button. Make sure your sign doesn't say adult toy storage. If you have that much adult toys, you may have a problem. Just saying. I don't think anyone's going to need storage for their adult toys. Now this one, if I walked up to this store and I saw this in the window displaying their store hours, I would be like, WTF. Shop hours. Open most days, about 9 or 10. Occasionally as early as 7, but sometimes as late as 12 or 1. We close about 5:30 or 6. Sometimes about 4 or 5, but occasionally as late as 7 or 8. Some days or afternoons we aren't here at all, and lately I've been here just about all the time except when someone else is. Except when I'm someplace else. So in other words, what? I've been here all the time except when I was someplace else. Great. Just, now, I don't know this, because I'm gay. But, I know some guys are into butts. I know some guys are into boobs. If you have a man who's into your boobs and you don't think they're big enough, don't you fret. Because now there's the tit loan. Sounds like two frat guys got together and had a business idea. I know it's title loans. Okay, hold on. Let me hit the reset button, or repeat button. Pay attention to how things sound when it's on a sign and other people are reading it. Because while I like the idea of a beer bar and cocktails, I'm not so sure that I want it's appealing to promote dancing sandwiches. If my sandwich is dancing, I'm probably not going to eat it. Maybe it's just me. And finally, and I forgot to blow this one up, so I'm going to procrastinate here just a little bit and do what we call time fill, blow up the picture, and then say, okay, here's the next one. And it's kind of a funny joke. Having a dog named Shark at the beach was not right. And it reminds me of a story. So, when I first got my taser girl, she was thinner than she is now because she was at a pound, and they only eat when people feed them. And I'm baby her, and I feed her every time she's annoying to me. But anyway, and her neck is a lot thicker than her head is, and so she would always yank off her collar. Well, I somehow hurt my knee, and I take my dog out, and I have it wrapped. In fact, I think I took the wrap off because I didn't expect her to go to the bathroom, or like we had just gone outside or something. But I was getting ready to put ice on it, and I go out, and I don't have my phone on me because I thought it would just be a quick pee, come back in. But she stops and somehow yanks the collar off, runs behind my backyard to my neighbor's backyard, turns, goes 3 doors down that way, across the highway, down about maybe a quarter of a mile, to, I don't know, to a park with a baseball diamond, through the baseball diamond, and over to my parents' house. Yeah. So now I have to use a choker on her. And I forgot where I was going with that story. Oh yeah, it was just a story because of the dog thing. Anyway, right? Yeah. Oh no. So here's here's the punchline. So as I'm running around town, trying to catch my dog on my bum knee, I'm yelling, "Taser! Taser! Taser!" like a cop trying to tase someone. So I get home. I'm so mad by the time I get to my parents' house. Because I'm so, like, I know putting a collar on her to get her home is not going to work. So I literally pick her up. My parents get home just as I find her. I get in the truck. They take me home. And I sat down and I put on Facebook, if anyone heard someone yelling taser throughout town tonight, it's not a cop. There's no bad guys outside. It was me chasing my dog. It was kind of embarrassing. Anyway. So speaking of my taser girl, what I did tell you guys last week is that I don't know her actual birthday, and I got her on September 16th. My mom was very instrumental in me getting her. It was right after I got out of the hospital. And my mom thought that I should be able to come home and have someone or something there, just as that peace of mind, and not sit here and be alone all the time. And it was the best thing we've ever done. She was the only one really in my family that agreed, because financially I wasn't able to do it. But my mom and I thought of that reason, and that's why we went ahead and did it. But I use her gotcha day, which is, again, September 16th, as her actual birthday. So we're going to celebrate her right now in a segment that I like to call Possibly Adorable. With Halloween coming up, you can guarantee I'll be doing this segment once again, and because it's going to be a National Dog Adoption Month, but you can guarantee I'll do this edition. It's Pet Costumes Edition. While sometimes I think that they're being tortured, some are just too dang adorable not to make you go, ooh. Here's the first one. Why not turn your dog into a bush? Why not? So he can pee on himself? Or another dog can come over and pee on him? I don't know. Here's the next one. Someone ain't afraid of no ghosts. Here's the next one. This one is just too dang cute. And how in the hell the dogs are keeping the wigs on baffles me. But how adorable is that? It's Dorothy and the Lion. Cute. Here's the next one. Now this one I see is torture. Yes, I'd like the Grande Chihuahua, please. Here's the next one. And just looking at this picture makes me want to cry. It is too dang cute. I will leave it up there for a little bit, just so you guys can absorb all the cuteness out of it, because there's a ton in it. It's a little bitty puppy as a bee. How adorable is that? I have to say that is probably my favorite picture I've ever done on this segment. Wasn't that adorable? Okay, one more time. How cute is that guy? Alright, here's the next one. Now, I don't know if this one is sacrilegious, and I am religious. I just don't practice. But this is kind of cute. Here's the next one. This one's kind of cute. This one's kind of cute, but I also kind of see it as torture. Mainly because of the butter pat on the dog's head. It's not a real butter pat, but the fact that they put one on his head is kind of cruel, but the butter thing is cute. Look at that dog trying to look. I can't see. That's how that dog sounds. Like an old man with no teeth. Here's the next one. This one is just creepy among creepy. I could not even imagine being the dog. Look at the dog's face. The dog is effing terrified. Look at that. That dog is like, get these things off of me. How creepy is that? Good Lord. This is adorable. Or should I say, I don't know, a word that starts with moo. So here's the picture. Okay, we're going to keep moving to the next one. And finally, how adorable is this E.T. picture? That's also like, get this damn thing off my head. Alright, the time has come. It's time to pay tribute to my mom in a little segment I call Here's My Take. Again, I don't have this scripted. I didn't want to script it. I want it to be from the heart. My mom was my best friend. And I know every child says that about their parents, but my mom and I had a special bond. When I was born, I had a condition called pyloric stenosis. And I don't know the details of it, but basically they had to go in and wrap a muscle around something. Otherwise, I projectilely vomited. I was like Carrie in the movie. And she said ever since then, she felt a bond with me. And my sisters would be in school. I've told you before how we'd go shopping together. I would always get a surprise. Well, it wasn't a surprise because I knew. And there was always a store we would go to that wasn't in, like, okay, so my mom's family, my mom's parents lived about 30 minutes the opposite side of where we normally go shopping and do our errands and stuff. And so there was one certain grocery store in the city or town that we every time we went to, they had, if you were a kid, you got a free cookie. I don't know if that's true or if my mom secretly paid for them. I don't know. But anyway, they're out of business now, so maybe it was true. And then we'd always go to the Wonder Bread store, and I'd get a little box of animal crackers and go see my grandparents. And I remember after my grandparents passed away, my mom would always say, I just want to hug my dad one more time. She was a daddy's girl. And you never know how true that is until this happens to you. And in fact, one of my friends who has lost his mom after my mom passed, it was a couple days after, he came over to the house and gave me a hug, and he's like, welcome to the club. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, we've lost parents. It's the Lost Parents Club. And it really is like a camaraderie. I know how stupid that sounds, but when you talk to somebody who has also lost a parent, it's just like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm going through. And for me telling them it's only been a month, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Because they know what I'm going through. They know what they have been where I am at. And I don't know if I said it at the beginning of the show, but I'm glad that it's kind of happened right before everybody's birthdays, except 3 people in my family. We all of our birthdays are like lumped together. And It happened before all of those. It happened right before the holidays. So it's not like we're allowed to be happy, or we finally get to a point where we're happy, and then all of a sudden that crashes down because it's the first holidays without her. And I was at work the other day, and I was talking to a coworker who's like a mother to me, or I look at her in that way, like a big sister that raised me. I guess that's a better way of saying it. And I was telling her, it was right after like my first week back, and I was like, well, I don't want to celebrate my birthday this year. I don't want to do Christmas. I don't want to do any holidays. Nothing. And just start over next year. And she goes, Josh, look at me. She goes, first of all, your mom wants you to celebrate. Your mom wants you to be happy. Celebrate it. You know she's going to be there. Then she said, look at it this way. Whether it's this year, next year, or in 10 years that you push it off to not wanting to celebrate these holidays, there's always going to be a first. And the longer it takes you to get there and go through that, the harder it's going to be when you finally do it. And that made me think of the saying that I said earlier that my mom would say, do the worst first. And let's just get it done. Let's have this happen and finally get to a place where we can make it happen. And start to find a new normal. My mom was a big support of my family. My dad was out farming, and during harvest we never really got to see him because they go early in the morning and don't come home until late at night, and sometimes have to stay overnight with the dryer. And I mean, it wasn't like he didn't want to be with us. And then he moved to a big corporation and worked second shift, which I know he sacrificed being with us, and that he would rather have been at our games or at our track meets or at our family dinners. But he knew that working this shift, he would get more money, more pay per hour, more pay during overtime, and they were offering a ton of overtime. And so he was doing it to sacrifice for his family. And my mom worked a full-time job, and she came home and she still did all the family stuff and went to all of our games. And we understood if she couldn't make it to one or two. I remember one time, I wasn't even playing. It was like my 7th grade year. I was just doing the books for the team, like the score books, because again, I was a nerd. And so the game was about 10 minutes from here. And the bus left because it was only 15 minutes from here. The bus left late, later than it would if it were like an hour away. And so my mom also worked like 10 minutes away in the same kind of direction. And I had gone home. I got something to eat, sat down, started watching. I think it was Saved by the Bell, and lost track of time. Missed the bus. Had to call my mom home from work to come pick me up, take me to the game, where I'm just doing the books, not playing, and she did it. That's because she knew that I liked doing this, or doing that at the time. It's just like me doing this show right now. I don't want to be filming this, but I know that she watched. I know that she... Let me rephrase that. I know for a fact she didn't watch the show. She tried to tell me there at the end that she did, and I think she was just saying that. Maybe she did. I don't know. But part of me thinks she was just saying that to make me feel better. But she would also always let me talk about it because she knew what it meant to me. And she always cared about what was going on in my life and my struggles. And I'm also bringing up what I'm bringing up next week because of how much I have hurt my mom in the past. And no matter what, my mom would stick behind me. When I don't want to say this crudely, but But there was a lot of people in my family at the time that wanted to turn their backs on me, and my mom was the glue that held all of us together. And I know I was just texting with my sister, Mary Lou, and Mary Lou and I, without getting into it, we don't really get along. I mean, we were best friends, and then we kind of drifted apart, and we're trying to, even before my mom passed, when I got out of the hospital, my sister and I have been trying to rebuild this friendship that we used to have. And because as soon as Betty Sue went to college, she never lived at home again. So it was Mary Lou and I a lot. And my Mary Lou, up until the day she got married, every night before she went to bed, she would open the door, check on me, make sure I was breathing, and make sure I was okay and sleeping. And I know she was just doing it to try and catch me doing something bad and get me in trouble for it. I know it. Anyway, I know. I'm just kidding. And I know that I've disappointed my mom a lot in the past. I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. I'm just, like I said, I'm just speaking from the heart. I know that I've hurt my mom a lot in the past. And since being out of the hospital, she would tell me all the time how I've changed and how I'm not the person that I used to be. And I have to thank her for that. If it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would be doing. She was the one that tried to mend everything. When I needed something and my dad was saying no just because of what was going on, my mom would be like, well, let's just help him out, you know. And I get that. I understand my dad's side of it. And looking back on it, they shouldn't have, you know. They shouldn't have had to. But my mom was the one that made me feel like it was okay that being gay was the way God made me. And again, while I'm not practicing, I am religious. And I'm not going to get too religious, but she always said that God made me the way he made me, and God doesn't make mistakes. And so that while she never, I don't know if approved is the right word, but she was religious. It was not the thing back in the day. You know, it was something where if you were gay, you were in a mental institution, because that's not right. And I understood that. I understood that about both of my parents' generations, and how it's so accepting nowadays. But it was my mom that made me realize that they're behind me, and always will be behind me. And she was an amazing woman. Seriously, we scheduled the visitation for 2 hours, and we were there for 3.5 hours. So that tells me how much she meant to everybody. And there was people going through that line that people had to remind me who they were, because I hadn't seen them since I was a little kid. But my mom made that much of an impact on them that they came after 30 years and to say their goodbyes. And I would never have asked for a better mom. I never would have asked for another mom. Any other person. I've always, like, my friends, best friends as parents, I'd say, like, you're my mom number 2. But they knew that my mom was my number 1. And I would have done anything for my mom. And before she died, the day before she died, the day before we took her in, so it would have been Tuesday, I went over there, and like I think I've told you this before, I was mad at her because she got out of the hospital that Saturday and got home from the hospital. We all left. She got in her car, went and got a pack of cigarettes. And so I had printed out. I keep a journal. Ever since I was in the hospital, I keep a journal. Even if I have nothing to write, I just put in here, I have nothing to write tonight. It was a great normal day, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I came home that night after finding that out, and I wrote in the journal how upset I was about that decision and about her doing that. And that was on a Sunday, and I didn't talk to her all day Monday or after I dropped that letter off until I woke up Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. I gave her the letter on Saturday, didn't talk to her on Sunday, and on Monday I didn't talk to her again, but I sent her a text message of a picture I took of her in the hospital that said 2 days. And you don't understand how guilty I feel about that. I know that she understood what I was trying to say. I didn't want to throw it in her face because, look, honestly, I smoke. I can't throw a stone. You know, I am doing the same thing. So how hypocritical of it is it of me to say stop doing this when I do it? And so the Tuesday I went over there to talk to my dad about something, and I popped my head into her bedroom and I gave her a kiss on the forehead like I always did. And I said, hey, I just wanted to come in and say hi. And she looks at me, and just the look on her face, and it didn't mean anything to me at the time. Even though it kind of bothered me, I was just like, that was weird. But looking back on it and looking at the look in her face and the look in her eyes, she just looked at me and said, I'm done. And I'm like, with what? And she goes, smoking. I'm done smoking. And then I was like, okay, great, thank you. And then I left. And I didn't think of it until the day we took her in. My sister and I were outside smoking at the hospital. And my sister looked at me and said, she told me yesterday she was going to die today. And then I remembered what she said to me, and I think she was ready. I mean, she wanted to fight for us, but when she knew that we were okay, that she didn't have to fight anymore, I think that she understood that. Mom, I love you. You are my savior. You are my rock. You are my best friend. You are always the person I could go to whenever I needed anything. And I mean that, and I know that would never change. And I will always have the happy memories that I have. I never remember one bad memory. I mean, there's some, but like terrifying, or all the memories I have that are bad are of me hurting you. And you never would do anything to hurt us. And you always stood behind us. And there has been so many times that something will happen since you've passed that I want to just call you and tell you about it. And I have to find out someone else to do that. And maybe that was the message you're giving to me in this. Giving me with this is that I need to move on. I need to find somebody else to bother with 800 phone calls a day to tell you about Prince Charles or whatever. And she would always get this tone in her voice whenever I'd call too much every day. That would be, yes, Josh. Like, she'd start with hello, and then conversation. By the time I knew she was annoyed with me, she'd be like, yes, Josh. There was only a couple of times where she'd been like, what? Anyway. But she put up with it. For 39 years you've put up with me. And they have been the best 39 years of my life. And I could not have imagined a mother that was not you. You will be missed, but you will always be loved, and you will always have a place in my heart. And I just want to thank everybody for letting me speak. I just wanted to honor my mom in some way that showed that I am thinking, obviously I'm thinking about it all the time, but her birthday does mean something to me. And while I'm sitting here posting this, or filming this on the 19th, I am not going to post this episode until the 23rd on her birthday because of the tribute. So I hope you watch or have watched. And I just want to let you know, Mom, that I'll be okay. I'm going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Be sure to join me next week for my birthday party. I'm kind of nervous. So if there's something funny you think I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. There's my show email address. Follow me on Twitter with your hashtag Smile Power Challenge Stories, as well as follow me on TikTok for behind the scenes looks, Taser versus videos, and exclusive TikTok content. And while you have a second, please like, subscribe, and get the notifications anytime I post one of my episodes, especially that one right. Oh, that's a bell. That one right there. Well, ring the bell and get the subscribe and ring the bell and get the notification. Anyway, so I can donate more money to Toys for Tots. And I wish I could. Normally, this is a time where I tease what you're supposed to be expecting next week, but I don't know what you're expecting next week. So I don't know how to end the show. I guess I'll just sit here. What? No? Oh, I guess I can't do that. Anyway, until next week, when I have no idea what's going to happen, it's either going to be a big blow up in my face and wish I never gave him permission to do this, or he's going to be a nice guy and actually listen to me and be nice. We'll see. But until next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, stop the hate. Mama, I love you. And until next week, everybody, that's all I'm saying.